Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Formula Elite Racing Round 4 here at Singapore. I'm Owen Boldero, and I will be taking you through all of the action here at the Marina Bay Circuit, of course. No less than an hour and a half ago, we had the Formula 1 race drive round this very challenging circuit, and now the drivers here at Formula Elite Racing will be tackling it as well. So, for those watching, you get 2 races at the Marina Bay in one day, as we have a full grid, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely fantastic to see, and we will be getting underway with qualifying in just a moment. Or sorry, cars will start coming out in just a moment. We're already underway with qualifying. As you can see, the clock is ticking down already. So we just wait to see which driver is going to make the first move here in this session. As there we are, it is going to be a Mercedes. It is going to be the Mercedes of... No, it's not. It's going to be a Sauber first out on track. Excuse me, I missed him coming out. So that is Vilden. Vilden first out onto the track. Braking for, well, the entirety of the first sector is... There's 2 really easy places to invalidate your lap time around here, especially in that first sector. You know, the first corner you can take a little bit too much curb and then just invalidate it that way, or at turn 1, 2, turn the third proper turn, the third braking zone of the lap is another really easy place to invalidate it. And then on this braking zone, on the corner exit, if you take too much and go too far out there over that line, you can also validate your lap time there, as that isn't going to happen on Vilden's outback. As here we go, round the final corner he goes, just a little flick, and here we go towards turn 1. DRS deployed into turn 1, down to 4th gear. Keep it nice and tight, make sure you're as far over that curb as you can, and then on the exit of turn 2 you want to really use a little bit of ERS, which he does, and then get as far over as you can to cut in for turn 3. Little snap of oversteer on the exit there, unfortunately for him, as now here comes Vilden. It is going to be a 26.977, as this RB will need to get out of the way there. Didn't quite look like Vilden quite got those previous 2 braking zones dead perfect how he would have wanted to, as there we are, this RB is going to get out of his way. And that is the dead perfect line. You want to take as much curb as you can there, not too much on that right hander, because it can lead to a big time scrub. And then just nip it in for the bridge section, and then you power down, ERS drain down to 60 or so %, flick it in, and then on the ERS all the way to the end of this straight. This is probably the part where you want to be using quite a good bit. There's now Vilden, right, left, perfect stuff, using his ERS. Round the final corner he goes, and up to the line is going to be a 1:30.065, and that is very close to the real life pole time, but I know for a fact that we will be going quicker in this session than that, as Fizzy Gaming starts his lap. Next is going to be the Ferrari. Oh no, the lead is not on a lap. Benjamin 6 is a 1:30.1. Entok sticks a 1:30.5. And There we are, that's a bit better. I'm going to say laser gun or something like that. Laser, I'm going to say. 6 out of 28, 8. I was thinking, those are some lower times, really. And then I realised, then laser stuck in that time, and I was like, okay. I was wondering if they tweaked something about Singapore which slowed the lap down a little bit, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. That's Fizzy Gaming, stuck in a 29. 3, 4, 7 there. On board with Elite then, what's he got in his locker here? Oh, a little bit too much curb. You really don't want to take too much curb because your underbody sort of bottoms out and then you just can't get any kind of rotation. You just kind of end up going straight on and very nearly into that wall. As Thanos sticks in a 1:28. 4.96. That is a fantastic lap there for him. So now here comes Elite. It's a 1:31.0 there as Kwame has left the session. On board with Burger Boy now. Driver with a bit of pace about him. What has he got? What has he done in the middle sector? Little snap of oversteer on the exit there. And is a 1:03.6 purple to the middle sector for Burger Boy. Taking a really good amount of curb. He took the perfect amount so his car didn't bottom out. I mean, I did a league race around Singapore here not too long ago, and the pole time was relatively quick, so I'm going to find out what it was for you. That's up to the live Burger Boy, a 1:28.335. That is a very strong lap time there for him. I think anything in the 1:28s is a very, very strong lap time here. And we currently have 4 drivers well into the 1:28. Now heading down to the Ferrari of Mazepin. What a name. Mama Mazepin. Through this bit. Oh! And taking his name quite literally and having a half spin. Mazepin and goes in to a Mazepin. Hey! As Pablo plays, by the way, 1:28.5. Jen's 1:29.3. A few more lap times being put in here. Apologies if you heard that squeak. That was me doing the lid on my bottle, on my water bottle. I can't lie, the game feels really loud. That'd be why. I had my headphones turned up more than ordinary. That'd be why the game feels so loud to me then, probably. Here comes Hugo to start his first flying lap of the session. Can he get anywhere close to pole position? And he's invalidated. Unfortunately for him, what about Reese PTFC, who is just behind him on track? And Hugo is going to move out of his way. He's going to help Reese out. He's going to have a clear track, and that's a 26.895. Flicking it in for this left-hander. Doesn't take as much curb as we've seen other drivers in this session do. But still keeping it clean, and that is the most important thing, you know. Hooking a lap up 100% around Singapore is one of the most difficult things one can do. And currently it is sticking pretty okay for Reese. Round the final corner he goes. Up to the line, it's going to be a 129. 6.27 for Reese there. That's not a bad time at all, you've got to say. That's now Hugo. Starts. He doesn't start, he's invalidated once again. What a val. Alex here on the Xbox. What has he got? Now out of the middle sector, he comes into the final sector. A sector with only 4 corners. Technically, only 2 braking zones, 3 braking zones technically. I don't know if you really call that a braking zone because it's not really. As it's a 129 at 164 for Alex, putting him in P6 briefly, but moves down to 7 after. Who was it that... I think it was Laser Gun. No, it wasn't Laser Gun. Power Twan. It was Power Twan who put that lap time in there to go provisionally into 2nd place. Burger Boy for his next attempt, his next crack at the Marina Bay circuit. One of the most challenging and demanding circuits on the entire Formula 1 calendar. As wow, Thanos sticks in a 128.298, and then Candy Floss sticks at a 28.0. So the gap, the bar for pole position just gets even quicker. Can Burger Boy respond? And yes, he can. He is responding in a very competent way. 2 attempts up in the first sector alone. Slight slide, managed to catch it before he went into the wall, so no harm done there. Right, and oh, that's gonna have scrubbed a 10th of a second or so, surely. He's just on the ragged edge, and in some corners it's sticking for him, whilst in others it's just not at all. There's now up to the final proper braking zone of the lap. That's not the curbing that you want to take, and he is going to abort this lap. He lost all that time he gained in the first, in the middle, and last, unfortunately for him. As Renz has retired from the session. And we now wait, as most people are in the pit lane. So this is going to be the quiet part of qualifying, as that's very close to one. A slight tap for kind fuel there. As now Vilbon on and out lap, but more to the point, Pablo on and out lap as well. Entok bails into the pit lane he'll get one last bite of the cherry in before the end of qualifying. So this is going to be most drivers' last runs now, those that come out at least. Pablo will get 2 indefinitely, so if he were to invalidate this next attempt, he'd be able to go for a cool lap and then go again on the next lap. Mazepin has just stuck it into P9 with a 129. 2, 4, 1 there. What about Vilden? You can't tell. Thanos, the man who has been dethroned off of that provisional pole, looks and aims to shoot for it once again, although it's going to be a tough ask for sure. He's got to gain 3 attempts on his rival, Infinity Candy Floss, or I'm just going to say Candy Floss, for the sake of ease. Pablo ever so slightly off track, you gotta say. That definitely won't have been in his plan, and he has backed off. He has backed off from this lap, so he will go again. He'll definitely have time to go for another, so he'll rally and come back next time. Now here we go. On board with Thanos. The start of the lap. Get yourself as close to that white line as you can, like that. Left-hander, 4th gear. Use as much curb as you can. Then nip it in nice and tight for that left-hander. And then you want to get yourself as far over this white line to flick it in, making sure you have one wheel still in, which he does. That is beautiful. That is as good of a first sector as they come and up to the split. He is 300ths of a second up, and he is invalidated, unfortunately. So that is going to be his pursuit of pole position over. So there are now, in terms of those that are close enough, only 2 in it, and that is Infinity Candy Floss and Burger Boy, as Burger Boy has just started his final attempt of the session, and we will watch him for it. We will watch him every single step of the way. As I actually didn't see how much time Boy gained, but it was about, yeah, a tenth and a half. So, oh, I've just pulled my headphones out. What's this? Lost about 700ths of a second on his previous best in that middle sector, of course. Was not able to complete the lap due to losing so much time, because Aston Martin teammate will get out of the way for him, and this RB better get out of the way pretty quick, which he does, luckily. Split 2.5 tenths up. This is looking a bit better for Burger Boy if he can hook it all up. But currently, it's not enough. He needs another 10th or so in order to clinch pole position. As now round the final corner, he is going to come. Is it going to be pole position for Burger Boy? Yes, it is. A 1:27.897. Wow, did he find time? What about Infinity Candy Floss? Has he found anything at the last here up to the line? No, he is not. As Entop gets disqualified for driving him away. But that is a pole position in round 4 for Burger Boy. What a lap. Now we just wait for everyone to come into the pits, and then we will be heading in to the main race. Here we are, final result. Burger Boy P1, Infinity Candy Floss P2, Thanos P3, Power Twan 4th, Pablo Plays 5th, Fizzy Gaming 6th, Laser Gun 7th, Alex 8th, Hugo 9th, Bacon-O 10, Mazaspin 11, in P11 there, Kine Fueled P12, Jens 13th, that is Benjamin 14th, Vilvan 15th, Reese 16th, Kwame 17th, Elite Silver 18th, Renz 19th, and Entog in 20th. What on earth has happened to Kwame? I remember him being faster than this. As here we go. Into the main race. We will go pretty damn soon, and I just need to quickly check. So I can't remember if there's a 5-minute break or anything. As here we go. There's 4. There's 5. And the action's underway here at Singapore. It's a good start from Burger Boy, who blasts away from P1, and he is going to take first place into the first corner, but Infinity Candy Floss has managed to maintain his P2 as well. As further back, there's chaos going on. Alex, there's a little bit of a tussle between an Aston Martin of Pablo and the 2 Alpines, which I think has now been resolved, but Mazaspin has lost plenty of positions, as has Benjamin. What on earth has happened to Ben? As we will flick down, can't quite see. He has lost an abundance of positions, as that is Infinity Candy Floss going off track. Further back, Mazza spins. He's losing places and he gets damage. He gets damage. He hits the back of the Haas of Reese and ends up with end plate damage there. And I think there might be some team orders at Ferrari. This is the McLaren facing the wrong way. Thanos facing the wrong way. His day does not get any better after narrowly missing out on pole position due to a lap time invalidation. But out in front, Burger Boy is already 1.3 clear of Infinity Candy Floss. And he will be very happy with that. By the way, Alex all the way up to P4 there. So that is some very impressive stuff. As you see there, up 4 positions, as is Hugo. So some good stuff going on here. As we will now move a little bit further back onto 6th place. The battle between Hugo and Power Twan. Round the outside goes Power Twan, forces Hugo a little bit onto the curb there, but they just about managed to keep it side by side without taking each other out. And now Power Twan is going to have the inside line and is going to have to see position. Sorry, Hugo's going to see position to Power Twan. So up to P5 goes the Red Bull. Can he now rally and push on, get past the sister car of Alex, the McLaren of Fizzy Gaming, and then work with his teammate potentially to catch Burger Boy, who is flying away in first place, already 2.3 seconds clear, as Vilven up to P15 there. Benjamin starting to gain back some of those positions he lost at the start. As I know, I was wondering if Infinity Candy Floss had like damage or something. No. As there's a McLaren facing the wrong way. Who is that? It was Thanos. Thanos was facing the wrong way, unfortunately for him. As that is a 132.647. Power to one goes ever so slightly faster. And he is finding his rhythm in this race. So I just need to quickly... Apologies if you can hear that. There's a plane going past me. That's fine. Sorry, that was Powerton getting past Alex there. Whilst I was fiddling with my settings, and I've got to do it again because I forgot what the car settings is on other cars. Hopefully that's not too quiet on the stream. If it's too quiet on stream, I will change it. I'm going to carry on talking for now whilst I get the stream up, and then if it's too quiet, I will tweak it ever so slightly. It sounds okay. Is now riding on board with the Red Bull. You see his teammate and the McLaren just ahead of him. As we will now take a quick look at tyres, so that would be why Infinity Candy Floss is losing so much time. He is on the hard compound compared to the medium tyres, as I think everybody started mediums. Let's have a look, other than Infinity. Kwame and Infinity were the only two drivers to start on the hard compound. Oh, tap of the wall there. Full power tour. Excuse me. Unfortunately, fortunately for him, there's no damage. There's a safety. Is it a VSC? I think it's a VSC. I can't see a safety car coming out of the pits on the mini map, so I think we're clear. It's just going to be a VSC as Thanos has retired it on the track. Infinity Candy Floss really backing the entire pack up at the moment. You can see it. I don't really know what his idea is, in all honesty. Is he going to try and, when it says ending, just go for it? That must be, but considering how much time they've just lost, as Burger Boy's actually going to... Oh, it's a full. It is a full. Burger Boy's going to come in. Infinity's going to stay out. It's a full. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. That is actually going to promote Benjamin all the way back up to third place. So he has benefited from that safety car timing quite significantly, as has Laser Gun, as has Candy Floss there. So they will be very lucky. They will be thanking their lucky stars, so to speak. As now, while we have this safety car, it might actually be a good time to try and get some championship standings, which is exactly what I'm going to try and do. Unfortunately, I have to go into the menu to do that because I'm going to go on Discord to try and find some standing, tier 1 standings. There we are. Okay, then we shove it in to OBS. Okay. Image. Because it's FGC, the standings are a nightmare to try and grab. Okay, so I know there's a way I can do this. It's just really, really awkward. Okay, that'll do. Right, okay, so we're going to... Back to the game we go. Because they've done the results in Formula Game Companion, there's not really an easy way for me to display championship standings. And, like, transforming it to fit is a nightmare. So I just decided to do that, basically just flick it through the screen so you can all see it. But that was the best I could do for the moment, as they say. Apologies about that. Having a slight issue with my mic, as it is all sorted now, hopefully. As the safety car will be in this lap on lap 7 and 31. With still 24 left to go. Again, apologies for me. I've got a really squeaky chair. Apologies for being here. Now, when does he choose to go? It's going to be late. It's going to be really late for Infinity. And there we are. He's gone. And it has caused absolute carnage behind him. The McLaren of Fizzy Gaming down the inside on the Aston Martin of Burger Boy. Burger Boy's just going to leave him enough space. Slight tap. Doesn't quite allow him the move there, unfortunately. As Jen's getting past. And that is Bacon-O falling down the order, and it's been round maybe, I think. And Infinity Candy Floss is starting to gain a lot of time on Laser, so to start to settle back into this race now. As Burger Boy sticks his nose out to let Benjamin know that he's there. But at this phase, he's not going to do anything stupid. It's too early in the race to be desperate. As Alex down the inside and shifts to the outside, and McLaren gets bogged down and pushed out wide ever so slightly, which allows Hugo to go through there, as that is Benjamin having a massive wobble, and it's going to drop behind the RB of Alex, unfortunately for him. And now here comes the Alpine, Hugo again. As Fizzy hits the back of him, and that is going to be Benjamin round, unfortunately, and in the wall. That's probably going to be quite big damage from there as we'll go off board. Yeah, he's got. Is that both end plates missing? Yeah, both end plates missing, unfortunately for him. As there's a yellow in set 2, the Sauber of Vilvan has been round. And now on board with Burger Boy, the man who is the highest of those who pitted under that safety car. And I mean, to me, was there contact? I think Hugo, not Hugo, was it Hugo? No, it wasn't Hugo. It was, sorry, Lasergun. I think Lasergun was trying to keep his nose in there. Unfortunately, so he has gone round. I think, to me though, those that have pitted under this safety car, under that safety car, are committing to the 2-stop, which is fine. But I mean, Burger Boy's losing time to Infinity Candy Floss, and whilst he might have the better tyres, Ben picks up a 10-second for speeding the pit lane, by the way. Whilst he might have the better tyres, if he's losing this much time whilst trying to recover, was it worth staying out maybe? As Infinity Candy Floss has? That is something we will get into, I suppose, and find out later in this race. Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. Since Laser Gun went round, Alex is now behind him, and on those better tyres, I think he's actually catching. After Laser Gun got spun, they were all clear to start gaining, and that is exactly what he is doing at the moment. As Entok picks up a 3-second track limit penalty there. And now, moving down a bit, we're going to check in on Renz, who is sat tucked up behind the two Haas cars in the green Sauber, which of course will become Audi next year. Audi is an L-A-U-D-I, not Audi is an A-L-D-I like the shop. Imagine an Audi racing team, like Aldi is in like the supermarket. Now that'd actually go hard, I think. Benjamin picks up a track limit penalty. What would the car be powered by? Low prices, knowing Audi's slogan. Although, I mean, realistically, the prices aren't that low because there's no prices in this country now, which are low. But that's a political question. We're not going to get into that one. We're talking about if Aldi, the supermarket, had a Formula 1 team. I mean, who'd be the drivers? Who was their rip-off Colin the Caterpillar? Cuthbert, that's it, Cuthbert. What if they made Cuthbert drivers? That bloody, that Kate, yeah, the Caterpillar. What if they made that their bloody driver? This has been one of the weirdest rants I've ever had. But there we are. As Powton on the outside, getting forced out a little bit by Renz there. Oh, I didn't realise my audio was on. So you might have just heard me twice. As Infinity Candy Floss has broken his tyre and is out. My apologies for missing that. Christ. And that has just thrown a spanner in the works of this race, because now, if you're someone who pitted under that safety car, which pretty much the entire grid did, or sorry, yes, everyone did, where do you go from here? If you've got a second set of hards, you switch over to the hards. But if you haven't, where do you go? The only thing that they can do probably in this scenario, if they haven't got another set of hards, is stay out and pit for new mediums at the end. Probably. That would be what I would do personally, and I think the nature of this circuit being how it is, track position is going to be quite important. We saw how much trouble those like Burgerboy had getting past some other cars, and that is just Singapore for you. So maybe track position could be crucial here, but we will see. We will indeed see. purely as now I'm going to try and... And there is an argument going on about that incident between Infinity and Alex, so I'm sure we'll see, the stewards will see what happened at the end of the race, or even now, since Infinity is out. So, let's try and quickly pull up constructors. Very quickly. Gotta do this rapid. There we are. They haven't updated the standings for a while. So there isn't actually any standings. The standings I've shown you, please ignore, because they're not the actual standings, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, so... Right, so, transitioning back to the race at hand, and... Why is Bacon-O on bloody Inters? What is he doing? You know, if I was STB Racing League right now, I'd be shouting and screaming about the fact he's on Inters in dry. But I'm not an idiot, I'm not a clip farmer, so I'm not going to do that. Because STB are just clip farmers, and they're very annoying. So I will not be doing that. There was a clip of the wall there. I'm really not sure what his goal is, being on Inters, but there we are. Okay, so let's take a look at Twitch chat real quick, see if anybody's put anything in. I hope so, yes. Nope, nothing. Brilliant. Excuse me. As the safety car will be in this lap, Mazepin is not caught up, but it's been 3 laps now, so the safety car will come in regardless of whether he is ready or not. As there we are, there is the queue right there. As Burger Boy is retired. What the hell? Huh? What on earth? Well, when is Alex going to go? He's gone there. Oh no, he hasn't gone. He's going now. There we are. He's gone. And we go. We are back on the way at just over half race distance. And nothing too much happened. Fizzy Gaming is on those softs, trying to work away through the pack. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not, and he gets hit up the butt. I'm not too sure by who. It would be the Alpine of Lasergun that whacked him up the butt. The Williams hits the wall, and it's a free wide there, and you don't want to do that, because that happens, and the Alpine loses its wing, the Williams loses its wing, and now we're back under safety car. We managed, what, 6, 7 corners? 6, 7, no. We managed, what, 6 corners or something? I think it's virtual. I can't see a safety car on track, so I imagine it's virtual. Hugo gets a 10-second for a collision with Kind Fuel. And Hugo is retired. Entok has managed to pull it out of the wall. So where did Hugo retire? Was it on the straight? It was as well. He's just retired it on track then. And there we are, we go green. We are racing again. And how long before we're not racing? As their fuel picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Hugo is not happy with him over the instant, which caused him to retire it on track. And now Benjamin is on intermediates. I really don't know why are people on inters? I'm actually gobsmacked. We've got so many people on inters. It does look like it's going to rain, I've got to say. I mean, if you look at that, you can't exactly call that a clear sky, can you? That does look like that's going to chuck it down slightly. And to be fair, outside my window in real life, it looks like it's going to do the exact same thing as well. It's quite a dark sky, so... As there was a whack of the wall there for somebody. Not sure who. But Reese getting himself past Kwame there up into 5th place on the newest tyres on the grid. He is going to be absolutely flying through this. Can he introduce himself into this top balance? It's raining. It is indeed raining. So those that went onto softs might have been a clever gamble. I, of course, did not know it was going to rain in this race. So when I was talking about what people should do in that, under the last safety car, I was like, just talking generally because as if it was going to stay dry. But of course, it's not. It's too early to go to intermediates, in my opinion. So, Renz, this is too early, mate. I say, with how heavy the rain is, it's going to be about 3 laps before it gets wet. Maybe 2. 2.5 or so. but it's definitely not going to be intermediate conditions yet. They're going to lose too much time. This happened actually in my league race at Singapore that I did a while ago. It started raining almost at the exact same time. I think about lap 21, 2021, something like that. And it took until lap 29 when we had lap 27, sorry, when we had a safety car for us all to bail onto Inters. Some people tried it and they lost too much time. So if we have a look at, what's a direct comparison? I suppose Benjamin versus Laser Gun is the closest we've got at the moment. As there's a yellow in sector 2, what's happened? And we have a safety car. Who was it? Can't even see who it was. As Benjamin picks up a drive-through for speeding. It really has not been Benjamin's day, has it? But do you bail to Inters? Is it raining enough, though, to warrant it? Because, again, we had a safety car right after it started raining. We had 3 safety cars that race, and Inters were not the choice at the time. It's an awkward scenario because you could lose so many places in either scenario. If it doesn't get wet enough for these Inters, they're going to drop away from the dry tyres quite significantly. But I think everybody did bail in the end. Everybody did bail in for Inters. Okay. But I've got to say, I feel like those Inters, they're going to overheat. I mean, if it doesn't get significantly wetter, significantly quicker, then they're going to overheat on restart. I mean, looking at the ground, it doesn't exactly look crazy wet, I've got to say. To me, it just looks like, oh, it's spotting ever so slightly. When you know it's time for Inters is when you can see puddles on the ground. And there are currently no rain puddles on the ground here in Singapore, so I don't think it's time for Inters yet. I think that's, as I said, a few lap out. But it could be time for Inters at the time we go racing. Whether it is or not, we will see. But if it's not time for Inters, then when we do go racing, they're going to overheat those tyres so bad. Hello, Gabrielle. How are you doing? Another issue with my mic there, apologies. Luckily I have stamped it out, but it's still not, I still don't think it's wet. It's still not that wet. like... Okay, I can see a few puddles there, actually. Huh. Okay, it might just be time for the Inter, but I still think for the first couple of laps of this restart, they're gonna overheat. Because actually it won't be in this lap. And it does look like the rain has picked up a touch, which will definitely help them. So I think by the time we get going here, it will be intermediate conditions. Luckily for them. Let's have another look, another glance at the track. See, in some sections it looks like it's wet, like that. It's definitely wet, was definitely wet through that corner. But I don't know. One thing I do know is this has been a very long Grand Prix. Good, Gabriel, good. Ugh. Hopefully the end of this race now can be alright as well. Well, we've hit the safety car limit, so there will be no more safety cars. Jesus, sorry about that if you heard that. That was my controller falling. I'm not using my controller, but it fell. As now, in terms of the restart, when is Alex going to go here? As a piece of damage there, I believe that's the Haas of Jens picking up that damage there. So, there we are, he's gone. And we are back underway in Singapore. The safety car is in. And for a 10-lap shootout, we have 14 racers remaining. And watch Renz. We'll watch Renz see what tyre it is. But as Infinity Candy Floss has finally left the session, as I said, I wasn't sure if it was dry conditions yet, sorry, wet conditions yet. And I think it is just... He's not really gaining on Vilden, but he's not... Renz isn't particularly losing either. It's sort of lingering around 6.9 seconds. My headphones are having a nightmare there. Kind Fuel up to P9 right behind Laser Gun. And Renz has retired. Renz has crashed. But yeah, I do think it is. It's just into conditions now. There we are. That's the point I was talking about. When you hit this really like slick looking road, that's when you know it's inters. Yeah. Okay, definitely now. It's definitely. That's the point I look for. Especially when I'm racing, that's my point of reference. We only have 11 drivers left now, so as a car, as a Ferrari has just gone into the wall. Mazepin has just lost his front wing end plate there. And at this bloody rate, we'll have no one finishing. As Fizzy, side by side, with the Haas of Reese, down the inside. The Haas are going to try and hang it around the outside. You need to leave a little bit of space. Reese potentially there. But the Haas not playing nice, playing feisty, playing with fire, I suppose you could say. Playing with fire on a watery day. Does it look like the rain's stopping? I mean, take a look. I can't really see any rain. I think that's stopping. That's the weirdest rain shower ever. Because it's dry again. So if you stayed out on dries, maybe you're fine. If you went to dries, maybe you were fine. As everybody bundles in now for dry tyres again. That is so weird. Medium tyres on the car for Alex. Mediums for Fizzy Gaming. Mediums for Kime Fuel. Hards for Elite Silver. Hards for Power to One. And I think looking at the track, it's dry once again. Or coming up to it. That dried stupidly quick. That was like not even a lap and a half of drying. And like half a lap of the rain stopping. We'll keep an eye on Alex, see how much he gains on the inters, if he does indeed gain. Jens pits as well. Kwame pits. Lasergun pits. Reese pits. Everybody into the pit lane. I've got to say now, if you'd have braved those conditions on those dries, maybe you would have been fine. Maybe. Because it didn't get... It was only into conditions, I'd say, for about half a lap, if that. Wow, that's a lot of curb taken there by Alex. And now move it back to Fizzy. who is on 2-lap older tyres, but has the warmer tyres as Reese is retired. So everybody is guaranteed points if you finish the race. What on earth has Reese done? Has he retired it on track, or has he lost his, collect his wheel off maybe? Really weird. Oh, apologies about that. Because now here comes Fizzy Gaming right behind Jens. He just can't quite find the speed, and we've lost Vilvin as well now. But that leaves 9 people in this race, so less than 50% of the grid is going to finish this race now. Here comes Fizzy. Just enough space left by Jens. Down the inside he goes. The Haas tries to keep it round the outside. A little bit of contact. They lean on each other. And the Haas of Jens does manage to keep the position. Fizzy needs to get past, and get past quickly, because he has that penalty, of course, that Jens does not. Whilst we're on the topic, let's have a little look at penalties. So Fizzy's got 6. Kwame has 3. And then Kyan Fuel has 3, Elite Silver 3, and then Mazza Spins has 6. Oh, there's a big clack of the wall for Alex. Is that going to be damage? And Power-Twan is gaining quite significantly, so if he gets damage, that could be his race win ruined. But no, he does not have damage. But what he does have is a charging Power-Twan coming fast right behind him. What about Fizzy? Not quite able to have the pace to get past. Now on board the Red Bull. And he is gaining. Those mediums are indeed going off now. And Power-Twan is now inside DRS of the RB. The two sister teams will be racing for this win. And if this were real life, I think there'd be some orders. There'd be, you know, let the Red Bull buy and all this and that. But of course, since this is a video game, we have none of that. These drivers turn up here for one reason: to win. And I mean, if you're not turning up to win, then what are you doing? Because everyone wants to win, let's be honest. everyone. Board with Power to One. Down to third gear, not quite able to gain enough on the DRS zone, and that has kind of been the story of the race. Fizzy has had the exact same issue, and now it's Power to One having that issue as well. Deployed once again. And now here we go. He's going to get a run into the final corner. There's a little touch. Down the inside goes the Rebel. The RB will keep it there, and we, whoops, lost the camera angle. And the Rebel has got past Power to One into the race lead. With 2 laps to go. Can Alex come back at him? Yes, he can. Down the inside he goes. Alex is going to try and get a switchback. He's not going to do so. And now this is important. What are their ERS levels looking like? Well, one looking much healthier than the other. Down the inside goes Power to One. An unexpected move. Catches Alex off guard. And potentially now with DRS deployed, Power to One is going to power past. As yes, he will. So Power to One, after a big struggle, is going to take this race lead. And on those better hard tyres will definitely be the better tyre now. He is going to start to pull away from Alex. Eight tenths of the gap now, heading on to the final lap. And all Power to One needs to do now is bring it home safely. And he will win this race. As that is the Ferrari of Mazepin potentially getting lapped here. Yes, he will. So whilst he's gone in the pits to grab a new set of tyres to try and go for fastest lap, he might not get the opportunity to do so because he's just been lapped by Mazepin has been lapped by Power to One. Final sector for the final time, and Alex has just really fallen off. Just doesn't look like there's any kind of drivability in his car left. But what a race for this man. What an unexpected result, you know, going into this race. Although he was in fourth, he wasn't exactly crazily close to that pole position, which was of course set by Infinity Candy Floor. No, it wasn't. It was set by Burger Boy. Excuse me. It was Burger Boy that set it. And he is slowing down. Why? Oh, he's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel. So out of absolutely nowhere, Alex is going to win this race because he had fuel left. Power to One is going to lose so many positions. Oh, no, he's not. What? Why did he just slow down to let the two through? I'm so confused why he's just done that. He wasn't out of fuel because he's plus 4, and considering how many safety cars we had, it's not possible that he could have been out of fuel, thinking about it, but why did he do that? And there is the podium for round 4 at Singapore. 4 and Paul Ryan. We had a little bit of rhyming going on there. And there we are. Alex P1, Jens P2, Powertron 3rd, Kwame 4th, Fizzy Gaming 5th, Laser Gun 6th, Kine Fuel 7th, Elite Silver 8th, Mazza Spins 9th, and then we lost Vilden, Reese, Bacon-O, Renz, Entok, Benjamin, Hugo, Burger Boy, Infinity Candy Floss, Pablo Plays, and Thanos. Jesus, that's a long list of DNFs. But there, that is the end of the race. So, looking on into the 1 week into the future. And our next race will be at, if I can find it, Italy. Monza. That's going to be Monza because we've already had Imola on the calendar, so it'll be Monza. So join us next week for Monza. Thank you all for watching. I've been Owen Baldero, and I will see you later. Goodbye.